Hey, 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 it's Freaky Friday.
It's a sunny Friday.
Sunny Friday.
Beautiful out.
Welcome to Beards on the Street.
I think I think I called in the sun with the new hair, with the shave.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's the summer look.
You did do something different.
I got lazy and I just cut it off.
Why'd you do that, Aaron?
It's comfy, man. Roll out of bed, go to the gym, not have to ever even touch it. It's pretty good.
It makes you look lighter. Like less weight.
It's one way to drop some pounds, perceivable pounds.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
I haven't lost any weight, dude.
All righty. I'm going to bring on our guest right now because we have a special episode, guys. I got to shut that off. Oh, there we go. Hey. So this cat, let me tell you, I'm going to introduce you, John, and then
Perfect.
And then we're not going to get too much into that because we got some stuff we got to cover, and then we'll get into
do whatever you need to do.
But we want to include you in this stuff. So
sure, let's do it.
So John Ciet is the vice president and founder of our brokerage, Century 21 Everest.
That's right. Yep.
And on top of that, he's our personal coach.
That's right.
Yeah, we do spend some time together. It's fun.
Yes.
That's right.
I love it. You know, I'll be honest with you, and we'll get into this more and remind me to talk about this, but you're the first coach, you and George, that I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, I mean life coach or whatever you want to call it. I mean, obviously I had coaches.
Sports and that, yeah.
But you guys are the first
That's actually not unusual.
That I've ever had.
Okay.
And it was because I never really thought that it would help me. Like literally.
And that's not unusual either.
Right.
Yeah.
So
He thought he knew it all.
I didn't think I knew it all.
We oftentimes do, right?
I'm just a pretty special breed, Aaron, and it's like, you know.
It's called headstrong, which is a good thing.
It is headstrong, but you know what? It's even more than that. It's. I have a tendency with authoritative figures. I'm not saying that is an authoritative figure, but I have this tendency to really
Push back?
Huh? Hard.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you're doing it in a productive way, right? You should have the expectation that those you're going to listen to and be mentored by actually are capable and are going to take you to the next level.
Well, like yesterday, I got pulled over by a cop. And he walks up to my truck, and I just looked at him and said, "What the hell do you want?" No, I didn't. I'm just kidding.
Should I say legit?
No, I've actually done that before.
Have you really?
Yeah.
We'd have to hear how that went.
You know what? Here's the bottom line, and it's not that I'm proud of it, because I love our brothers in blue. I've got tons of buddies that have been in law enforcement or are currently in law enforcement. Can you imagine what our society would be without it? Crying out loud.
Yeah, no, we need them.
We need them.
We need that blue line.
Anyways, but I've got this I already told you kind of about this authority thing, but whenever a police officer walks up to my car, and at any time during that conversation, if he starts talking down to me or just like, do you know what I mean? It's like, hey, buddy, you should be scared of me or this, that, or the other.
The authoritative approach.
That authoritative, I've got something over on you.
Yep.
It's like, fuck you, dude.
I get it. Yeah. I hate to admit this, but over the course of 18 months, I was pulled over 7 times and received 7 tickets. And most of the time, they didn't take that approach. A couple of times that they did. Most of them just don't operate that way because they realize that that's not a productive way. It's not going to go well. But also, that's not who they are. But every once in a while, you run into one like that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dude, I had this cop. This is clear back in the day when I probably had a mullet and all the things. But all my trucks have always been kind of jacked up and, Utah style.
You bet.
And this cop pulled me over for my mud flaps. And I literally had got on one exit and got off on the other, and I had just dropped my trailer off, and I have those removable mud flaps. And I explained all this to this freaking cat and just said, listen, I'm going to my shop. I just dropped the trailer off. I normally have my mud flaps, but I can't remember what I was doing, but there was a reason I took them off. And this guy was such an asshole that I literally just started freaking going at him.
Did you?
Verbally.
Did he take it?
Oh, he took it, and then he threatened to arrest me. Now, this is a non-moving traffic violation, and this cat threatened to take me to jail. Needless to say, a bunch of cops showed up.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I didn't go to jail, and And that guy, because I filed a complaint against him, and that guy had to take anger management courses
Oh my gosh.
to learn how to talk to guys like me.
Headstrong guys who are
It's
going
not
to
even
give pushback.
headstrong, you know. I mean, yeah, I was kind of jostling him a little bit and saying, "Dude, you don't have anything better to do with your time than to freaking pull me over
Yeah,
because
but
I don't have mud flaps?"
they're not used to that. Most people are very compliant.
Right.
I'm compliant.
I'm compliant to the point that again they start talking down to me.
Yeah, I
and
get
then
it.
they're still doing their job. I still respect them big time. I do. But bottom line is, anyways, this guy yesterday was a total freaking stud.
Yeah.
Total stud.
Yeah, most of them are.
Officer Bess at Cottonwood, I mean, he was nice. I asked him a couple questions. He answered my questions and even went further on. I mean, the dude was totally cool.
Can I tell you a really quick story?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
This was probably, well, it was over a decade ago. We had just finished, my former wife and I, the formal Christmas party that we did down at the Grand America. My brother...
Company?
Yeah, the company Christmas party. And my brother texted me and said, hey, he was watching the kids while my wife and I were at the event. He said, we locked ourselves out of the house. Now, this is Christmas time, so it's cold.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, the kids, you know, the three of them, they're all under 10 at this point, and they're outside and it's cold. And so I'm rushing to get back home.
Damn right.
Right?
Speeding for
Well, so I'm at the 4 South on-ramp, and if you're familiar with that right there, you know, it turns a sharp left to get up onto the freeway.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm in my Jaguar, and right next to me is this Toyota Camry. And this guy's revving his engine and looking over at me like he wants to go. And I'm thinking, what the hell are you thinking, dude? You're in a Toyota Camry. But, you know, I'm always ready to go.
Right.
So the light changes, and of course, we both, you know,
Get on it.
We get on it, and we're headed up the on-ramp. And of course, I'm not going to let him pass me because I don't lose.
Right.
And he's behind me, and he's keeping up with me. I'm pretty impressed because this Jaguar is, you know, it's pretty spicy.
Right.
And I'm going in and out of lanes, and my former wife, she hit me on the leg, and she said, stop it. She said, you're going to get a ticket. I said, no, I'm not. We're just having fun. I'm paying attention. I'm looking for cops.
Wee.
So I'm in the middle lane, and this guy's right on me. So I decided, you know what, enough of this. So I floor it. I cross over the lane into the fast lane and then over into the HOV lane. And I crossed over the double white line.
I've never done that.
Haven't you? Okay, well, you've never done this. So I'm in that lane and I look, and the guy's nowhere to be seen. And like, I won, I'm good, right?
Winner.
And then I look behind me and he's coming up on me. And yes, in his grill, the guy was racing. Red and blue lights. Boom, 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 boom.
What?
Oh, it was a cop
It was
in
a
a
cop
Toyota
in a
Camry.
Toyota Camry, all souped up. He pulls me over. He marches over to me, and he said, really nice. He said, you know why I pulled you over? And I said,
I have no idea.
I said, I know
'Cause I
exactly
won?
why you
'Cause
pulled
I
me
won?
over. I said,
'Cause I whooped your ass.
I was speeding, reckless driving. I changed lanes without indicating, and I crossed over the double white line. And he said, yeah, pretty much. And he said, could I get your driver's license and registration? And I said, yeah. I gave him that. He came back, and he said, I'm sorry, I have to give you a ticket. I'm not only going to give you a ticket for crossing over the double white line. I have to give you one for that. He said, but I have to tell you, if you hadn't done that, I was having a good time. I was going to let you go. I swear to you, I'm not
What a
making that up.
stud.
This was a Salt Lake City Police Department
Oh,
officer.
I love that.
Right? So you run into guys like
You
that.
do.
Yeah.
There's so many
And
cool
I deserved
guys.
it. I deserved it.
Hey, you know what? There's bad apples in every batch, and I don't care what industry or what business or what service or whatever. There always is, and people try to turn it into a big thing and give the rest of them a bad name. But there's some studs out there.
It's like my mentor said to me. He said, John, there are bad people out there, but only about 8 or 9. The problem is they move around a lot.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so last week we talked about that we were going to start mixing up the week's
Whiskey drink.
whiskey drink or just drink. We never did clarify it had to be whiskey.
We like whiskey.
Well, I like whiskey,
Yeah.
but
Is there a theme?
well, I mean, so there is now. So originally our thought is that we would each bring one in and have kind of a drink off, and whoever the guest is got to decide who had the best drink.
Oh, boy.
But if you have a guest that doesn't drink or
I'm trying not to drink.
I don't know why you do that, but anyways. So anyways, I think I actually talked about this last week. I'd read that article about this cat that had won 2 years in a row with an old fashioned, which anybody that knows anything about old fashions, there's not a lot there. So I got all the ingredients to make the old fashioned like he did, and I've already pre-made 2 old fashions, so they've been sitting here a minute. But
That's pretty.
there it is.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And that's been watered down a little bit, so you should be good.
What you need to know is I am the most Mormon Catholic you'll ever meet. The only time
All this is a flavor. Just
Is that
all
what
it
it
is you just appreciate the flavor.
Yeah, just hold it in your mouth.
'Cause there's a flavor.
Smell it, breathe
Okay.
it in.
Okay.
You may not appreciate it if you don't drink.
You really need to know this. I never do this. The only time that I have alcohol is at Mass when I sip a little bit of the wine out of the chalice.
Right.
That's it.
I just
but I'm
want to
doing
know
this for
what
you
this
two.
thank you. I want to know what you taste.
Diesel fuel.
That's interesting. I taste the citrus right up front,
Okay.
right?
What about caramel?
I tasted that about a quarter of the way into it.
Yeah.
And then as those flavors start to subside, then it starts to get, like, I guess, bitter, kind of smooth and hot.
Yeah. That's the feeling.
Smoky.
Smoky. Yeah, there you go. That's-
Coffee, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's smoky. Definitely smoky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the one that goes to the hickory barrel? What's the? Oh, that was somebody else telling us about
That
the
was last night. I
the
can't
branch,
remember the brand.
Long Branch or something like
Yeah.
that.
They actually they said it's a. So here's the deal, guy. I've never been a big fan. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I just didn't know. But any wild turkey I've ever had has been kind of a cheap, so I stay away from
Yeah.
bourbon. But this guy insisted that Wild Turkey 101
Is the one to use.
is the one to use, and I'm impressed.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. It was like $35.
Yeah, that's why I asked you wild turkey.
Yeah. So I got the buttermilk bitters. That's what I used on it, and the Jack Rudy Demerara syrup. So, and then an orange.
Well, I'm
orange
telling you, for a
twist.
first timer, I'm impressed. I don't know if you can say this. That's a pretty looking drink.
That's cool,
You
huh?
made a pretty looking drink
Well,
there.
thank you.
Yeah, so there you go. Enjoy.
Wait till I show you the second one.
All right.
This is
My wife took
this is
care of
what
me.
this is what upper class drunks drink. male upper class drunk.
There you go.
drink.
Well, it's, you gotta be you gotta be
Say that
classy.
3 times fast.
Upper class drunks. That's
Well, the more you have,
funny.
the smoother you say it, right?
Well, like the whiskey, like the cigar rooms and the
Right.
like. It's a hip men's
does.
drink.
The thing that's missing that you hear in that is like the clanking of the ice cube against the glass. There you go. Kind of have to do
Well, I have this thing that makes really big ice cubes.
that. Okay. Yeah.
So, but I like them because then they melt evenly and it
It looks like a ball, but it's
It
not.
is. It's a
Oh, it is
huge
a
round
ball.
ball.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool.
Yep. But check this out.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So
Those are some big square cubes.
my wife made these. I don't know if you can see them right there.
Wow, look at those.
So this is orange juice ice cubes
Yeah, that's cool.
with oranges in them.
Alicia, we got to get work done here, girl.
And you know what? I didn't ask her to. She just heard me talking about what we were doing, and
She thought she'd hook you up.
He
last
rolls
night I
in with
rolled
all-
in, and she did. She cut all my things to
You-
put on the edges. She even soaked some in bitters.
You married up, didn't you?
Dude,
I'm
she
married
takes,
up.
she
Big time.
takes such good care of this guy.
Good for you. How
Yeah.
long have you guys been married?
2 years.
Good for you.
Yep, we've been together 12.
Congratulations.
Took me a minute. I was shy.
The truth is, it took her a minute. She wanted to test you, make sure you were the right one.
No kidding.
I think he was a little gun shy after round 1.
Or 2 or whatever. Me,
Whatever the-
I was
whatever the count is.
I was like, I literally, when we first started dating, I made it very, very clear that I was never getting married again. It was one and done with me.
But isn't love a good thing?
Love is an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing.
And it'll cause you to do things that you didn't think you would
Exactly.
Right.
do. Yeah.
I've learned in my life never to say never, ever.
Yeah.
Every time I say it, every
just to be
time I
open to
say it,
things.
I think it's because I'm throwing it out
There's
there
some
in the
good-
universe.
there's some good reasons
It
to say
always
never.
comes back and is,
There you go. It pays dividends.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like one time when I was just younger, I left Utah and went to California, and I'm like, F you, Utah, and I'll never be living in this state again. And within less than a year, I was back with my tail between my legs.
Yeah.
I didn't like California.
Yeah.
It's an interesting place. I lived there for 7 years.
Wow. Yeah. I
I always say, and don't take offense to this, anybody who's from California, but California is a great place to be from.
Right.
Visiting there is great, but home is home. Wherever you're from, and this is home.
Utah is so. I mean, I grew up in Idaho, but 13 miles across the border. So same.
Yeah.
Moab.
Pretty much. Right. Yeah.
So, but anyways, I love Utah. I mean, the weather. Oh my God, it was so nice yesterday, and today's going to be even
gorgeous.
better.
It's supposed to be 81 degrees today.
I know.
Holy cow!
I know.
Yes,
It's like, damn, it went from winter to summer.
So good. Okay, let me get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. For those of you that are in the industry and more specifically in the brokerage here, we started doing our book reading every single morning at 9 a.m. up in the training room on the second floor. So if you want to come and join us, come up and join us. We'd love to have you. But
half hour long, just quick and
simple
and good professional content. So it's a good conversation.
I just want to convince you guys to do it in the afternoon, so we're not doing it during prospecting. But
who says you can't do prospecting in the afternoon?
You can. Actually, the question people ask me is,
did you hear our coach just talk to us?
He did.
Just saying, but I do get the question, what's the best time to prospect? And my
I thought you were going to tell us to do it earlier.
I'm okay with that as well. We do a book club in the company every Thursday at 7:30. But the question I always get is, when is the best time to prospect? My answer is when you'll do it consistently. That's
exactly.
The best time. Yeah.
So the book we're reading is The 5 Laws That Determine All of Life's Outcomes.
Local author. Actually,
Aaron knows this guy or has had dealings with this guy through some training courses.
Yep.
But Brett,
Brett Harwood.
Brett, we did reach out to you, buddy. We want to talk to you and we want to have you in on the show. So if anybody knows Brett Harwood, pass it on to him. And Aaron, I know that you'll stay in touch with him, and we want to get him on the show because
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So far, your book is freaking amazing.
Yeah,
I like it.
We're enjoying it for sure.
Yeah, I love the stories.
How did you find it?
I went to one of his trainings, and I pay attention to this guy. He is pivotal. He's a very influential guy. So his career, he actually consults with corporations, making their moves, growth, and
right.
Yeah. So it all starts with personal development.
Yeah, always.
Actually, you need to go
foundation.
Yeah.
When it's done, make sure you go to the YouTube channel and send him a link.
Okay.
Tell him to watch.
Okay.
So, anyways, that's the book we're watching and reading. Second order of business. Our charity that we're doing this month and next month is kind of near and dear to my heart because it's my stepson that's doing it. And this kid is, at one point in his life when he was in high school and playing football, he was probably high twos, 280, like big kid.
Boy.
My size.
Big kid.
Big boy.
Big kid. And
now he's just chiseled, dude.
He's super into health and what you put in your body. And
good for him.
And anyways, Mason's going to run, and they call it the Road to 3434. And it's in conjunction with Single Parent Project, which is a local charity. And Mason started this to basically to help raise funds for parents that are raising children, single parents, and struggle through life. And, my wife, his mother was a single parent for pretty much a lot of the boys' lives. And she's super mom. She's amazing.
Yeah.
So Mason, hats off to you, kid. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, so
but
cool.
even more importantly, by the way, what he's doing is he's going in 2026. And guys, the reason it's out that far is one, he's got to raise money. He's got to get everything in line. He's got to have his team there. He's got to, this is a big
physically
deal.
ready.
Physically ready, which, he's running from Washington State to Florida.
Wow.
Wow.
Running.
That's incredible.
And he's going to do it. His goal is 69 days.
He needs to wear green short shorts, a headband, and a wig,
50 something miles every day.
How many?
50 something miles every day.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
So
through all sorts of weather conditions.
As a lead up to this is, you think that's crazy? Listen to this. On Mother's Day weekend, which is
28 days away. I saw a video today. He has a video. He's like, let me draw the course.
On Mother's Day weekend, so that is the 10th of May. We're going to have him on our show on the 9th, on the Thursday of the 9th.
Our mixer's the
Excuse me.
9th.
On the 10th, we're having him on our show. Our mixer he's going to be at with representatives from the Single Parent Project on the Thursday at our mixer. And then on Friday at 11 o'clock, he's going to start running at the 9th Street Park, I think he called it. And he's going to run for 24 hours straight.
What?
Yep.
We're going to go run
How old is he?
for like 2 miles straight.
He's 25, 26.
That is so cool.
Oh, he's called his
for
tag on Instagram.
He's also
Buff
in
Runner.
He's also full-time student as well right
Yeah,
now.
and I mean, dude, just I could.
You gotta be really proud.
I could spend the whole entire show talking about Mason and
Very
just
cool. Good for you.
This kid is such a mature, such an amazing human being, and his mom's an amazing human being. So this is my shock face. So, anyways, any and all of you that want to participate, you want to help this kid out in these crazy things that he's doing. It's a killer cause. I mean, come on. How many single parents are out there and went through it, or everybody knows 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 or whatever. And he's trying to raise money to put all this thing together. And trust me, guys, it's going to cost a shit ton of money to do this. Not to mention the tax that it's going to take on him. Like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's quite a commitment.
Like, even for this 24-hour run, he's going to have a whole team there because mentally he can't be worrying about when he takes a break and sits down and puts fuel back in his body.
What does he need next?
What does he need next? He can't be focused on that. It's his team's got to be on spot and know exactly what he needs and how he needs it.
What inspired him to do this? What?
You know what, John? He runs all the time. Like, he trail runs every single day.
Which is crazy for a young man his size.
Right.
You know, it's like a Clydesdale running. They don't typically do that.
Yeah.
You know?
He's not that big anymore. So he's trimmed way down. He's probably, 180, 170?
I don't think he's that lean.
I do.
No, I mean, he's got muscular.
Oh, he's way muscular.
I bet he's 190,
like I said,
200.
His handle, and for all of you out there, look him up and friend him. It's Buff Runner on Instagram.
I'll look him up. That's cool.
And I don't know, man. This kid has just always been focused, and he's what is it when you won't eat meat? You won't eat
vegan.
dairy. Vegan. He is straight up vegan.
Is he really?
Yes.
Wow.
Like 100%.
Good for him. That's not easy. I did it for a year. It's tough.
Holy shit,
it's
dude.
Tough.
Like, every time they come over for dinner, it's like you're making 2 meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, legitimately.
Like, legitimately.
Yeah. It's not easy because you have to find the right stuff that gives you the nutrients that you need, and it's so easy to eat the wrong stuff.
You want one more little knock?
He's trying to ply me. He's saying, John, you're a little too stiff. We need you to loosen up.
No, not that at all. But now it's down where it's. I think you'll really taste the flavors on this one.
I'm to the flavor.
Yeah.
You're right. It is more flavorful.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. It's actually sweeter.
You're not getting that burn.
Yeah, that's right. And you get the smokiness in the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't that bitterness or that burn or that heat at the end. Yeah, very interesting.
It's good.
Well, that's what we should do is you drink the first half and I drink the second
Exactly.
half.
Hey, we're a team.
Yeah, there you go. Teamwork.
Okay, let's get to you, brother. Let's get to the big guy here.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to do
Dude,
this.
I'm so excited you're on here, and you know I appreciate you. I love you as a human being.
You as well, both of you.
You know what? You're a good dude. You and George both. I mean, there was a time here recently where we were going to make some changes with our team and possibly brokerage, and you guys sat us down and we had a grown-up conversation about it, and we were able to tell you guys what our heartburn was, and you guys stood up, and part of that was stepping up and giving us some coaching, that because guys, these guys coach and they charge very reasonable amounts of money, which is good because they're very good at what they do.
Yeah, I've been doing it for years.
Yeah, for years. And so you're giving us the opportunity and the expertise and the just, I love it, dude. And I'm thankful and I'm very, very grateful.
You know what? I appreciated the posture and the stance, because before we make not mature decisions to start changing directions, you're like, no. Let's dig into your business and let's let's get to work and let's correct a few things that we see.
Yeah, I mean, like really have the conversation to see if that decision to make a change is really the right decision, right? And you talk about an adult conversation. Well, you can't have an adult conversation if you're not, adulting, if you're not an adult.
Right.
And you
I'm
guys,
practically half an adult.
well, it means you're still having fun, which is good.
Right.
But I want to pay you guys both a compliment because it took two mature adults to sit down and have that conversation with us.
Yeah.
And had you not done that, of course, then,
We probably would have made the change, and who knows?
And George and I firmly believe that this environment that we've created is the right one to be in.
Yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be challenges.
Of course.
You've got to address it. And we did that. And, I'm excited. Really excited because, it's fun to work with people, number one, that you actually like, love, and care about. Number two, people who are coachable, who want to learn, are willing to listen, and want to get to the next level.
Isn't that funny that I wouldn't say I was against it. I just never even got to the point where I even considered it.
Do you know what I see?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm taking it on.
What I actually see, the reason why you're that way is because you're someone that sees like any obstacle and you're like, I can do that.
Yep.
So you don't know the kind of input that a third party who's a professional leader,
Right.
leading you in the same mindset, the same strengths, but directing it.
Right.
I mean, that's powerful.
We don't know
It's not
what
only that, it's the accountability side.
Yes.
And I try to hold myself pretty accountable. I do. But man, I'm digging it. I just want you to know that for somebody that was hesitant, I'm digging it.
Cool. I am too. Yeah.
Will you explain what coaching is?
Yeah, let's start there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ultimately,
Because there's all kinds of different coaching.
there is. Yeah. Number one, we kind of talked about it in the beginning. You said, you've never had a coach. And how old are you now?
57.
57. Never had a coach what you consider a life coach. Of course, if we were in sports, we played an instrument, those sorts of things, we had a coach or a teacher. But we get to the point as adults where, we've gone through school and it's not even on the radar to think that we need a coach. A coach is for sports. A coach is for learning how to play an instrument. A coach is really ultimately to learn how to do something, a skill.
Right.
But what we forget is that life requires a lot of skills.
Especially this life.
The skill of navigating relationships. Number one, the relationship with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then number two, all the other relationships that we have. The intimate relationships, the relationship with our clients, and then the relationship that we have just with complete strangers.
Aaron needs a lot of coaching on his relationship with himself.
Well, you say that. It's impressive to watch what he's been doing. Really, I want to pay you a compliment on that. No, seriously. Yeah, because I've watched your journey and you continue to figure that out.
Yep.
It's those challenges that I've watched you go through. You don't give up. You continue to look for the solutions. And it's hard work. It's hard work to admit, number one, that there needs to be change, and then to admit that and to reach out to people and then to go through that process. Most people don't. It's not on their radar. So what is coaching? Coaching is really being aware consciously, on a conscious level, that I'm at this level, I want to get to the next level, and I need a third set of eyes, somebody else to look at me and say, hey, I need assistance to get to the next level. I don't know what I don't know, so I want to learn from somebody who's been where I've been, and I'm willing to listen. There are really 4 levels of coachability. Number one, not coachable at all. And that's the person that has the ego in their head that says, you got it all figured out. Right?
That was me.
Don't need any help.
That was
right?
me.
And the fact
And
is,
I don't even know if that was me. It was just literally, it just was.
I don't think that's you.
You understand what I mean when I say that it just was never, it wasn't even a thought.
I don't think that's you. I think you're the type that, look, if there's a challenge, to your point, which you said a minute ago.
Taking it on.
You're taking it on. And you just look at it and go, I'm gonna go through it or around it, doesn't matter, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Exactly.
Right? Instead of taking the time to saying, hey, what's the best way to do this? And is there somebody I can leverage or people I can leverage in the process so that I can get through it faster and even better than I otherwise would?
Exactly.
So
with less mistakes.
Correct. Yeah.
Now mistakes are great. Trust me.
That's where we learn.
I learn big time from them. However,
if you can shorten the process, you can shorten the pain, why not?
Exactly.
So the first level is not coachable at all, and that's when that ego takes over and says, no, I got it all figured out. The second level of coachability is that level where the person is reluctant, right? They say, nah, I don't know.
Second guess everything that's told to them.
Yeah, it's like, he says that, but I don't really think so. you know.
Think you know better.
Yeah. Or, it makes me uncomfortable. Makes me uncomfortable. And there's
It might not even be the source. It might not be that they think they know better. It could be just like you said, just I'm not okay with this.
Yeah, right. And that's usually directed by fear, right? The fear of the unknown, the fear of change. And then there's the selectively, right? People say, well, I see all of my options. I'll do that, but I won't do that.
Yeah.
In other words,
I'm trying to get past that one.
Well, I think we all do that.
I like that coaching. I'll take that one, not that one.
Right. That's like
I
saying,
agree with you here, but you can pound sand right here.
right. It's like taking the formula for like division and saying, well, I'm going to use part of the formula, but not the other part of the formula. Well, the challenge is if you don't use the entire formula, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do we know that right now?
Yeah.
Putting together our training and seminar webinar series.
And you watch people, and there's nothing wrong with this, because occasionally you'll find like the inventor, the harbinger, like the Elon Musks, who will figure out a new way to do something. But the truth is that success has rules, and those rules have been set in place not for the last 50 years, not for the last 100, but really for thousands of years.
Right.
I mean, you talk about the Stoics and Marcus Aurelius and the things that he talks about and those other philosophers. Those things have been around for centuries.
Right.
And if you'll just really recognize those and follow those rules instead of fighting those rules, resisting those rules, you're going to make great headway.
Love it.
And then the last level of coachability is completely coachable.
Right.
And so the person who says, look, I don't have it all figured out. I know that there is an opportunity for me to grow, and I know that it's going to put me in situations where I'm absolutely uncomfortable, but I'm okay with that because I know that in order to get to the next level, I have to put myself in uncomfortable situations and doing the things that I've never done before, because that's the only way that things are going to change.
Love it.
And those people who do that become the people who do the most.
Those are the guys that stride forward and just,
Those are the people who achieve the most, and those who actually redefine what success looks like and get to the next level. So,
you know what? So now I'm making a different one. See?
oh man, look at that! That thing like barely fits into the glass.
Yeah, I might have to do the wild turkey first.
John, I've been in coaching a long time. It's just amazing just to think about. I've always been hungry for it, but it's been selective.
Yeah.
I pick and choose and take on the things that I'm comfortable or ready for, and it's just fun, man. When just as a as a coaching client, when you're ready and you want to and you need it and you want to hear it.
Right.
The way you take on things, it just changes your entire.
Well, and the way you
experience
present
of coaching and everything. Really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With life.
Literally, the
ultimately.
way you present it is just as important to me. Again, my mind is always constantly going 100 miles an hour, and sometimes it's nice to slow it down and to pay attention. But for me personally, when I'm at a conference, when I'm at summit, when I'm at anything out there that is a learning experience or take on the information, I'll shoot straight with you. A lot of times I just completely shut off to people because the way they're presenting it just doesn't flow with me. And
I get it.
And it's like I just literally shutters are shut.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I have a lot of coaching clients that struggle with that. I can tell you that ultimately that I even at times struggle with that. Here's my philosophy with that. It's my principle on this. We've all heard the statement, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right?
Right.
So this idea that I may not like the person who's presenting, I may not even like the way in which they're presenting, but I ask this question, is what they're presenting the truth? And if you can separate the individual who's presenting it and the way in which they're presenting it from the actual
What the
message, and that's the key. Because I think that ultimately we all have an ego. And the question is, how much is that ego going to play a role in our experience on a daily basis?
Right.
The ego is really there ultimately to protect us. The ego says, I'm here to protect you from danger, from putting you in situations where you could be harmed, because it's all about survival, right?
Right.
There are two primary emotions in life. Everything else is subordinate to these two. Number one, love. Number two, fear. And every moment of every day, we have the opportunity whether we're going to be on the side of love or fear. And we have to be conscious of that. And if we can find ourselves on the side of the ledger where it is love, what we will do is we'll find ourselves being more open regardless of who's presenting the information or what situation we're in, and being willing to put ourselves at quote unquote risk of being exposed as to not having it all figured out. And if you can really come from that space, it is incredible the amount of progress that we'll make. Whether we're talking about relationships, we're talking about our health, or we're talking about our business and our finances.
Right.
So to exist in love, to say not that I want to be more loving, but to say I am love, as opposed to I'm afraid or I am fearful or I am fear.
Right.
It's really important.
And unfortunately, I know a lot of people in this world operate in the fear mode.
Most do.
Yeah.
Most do.
Big time.
It is the exception that lives in a state of love.
Right.
And even I don't. I mean, I'm aware of this and I explain this to you, but there's still moments, during the day where I live in fear, and I have to consciously recognize that and ask this question. It's a really important process. How do I feel? Well, if I feel amazing, fantastic, awesome, I ask why. I want to know why I feel that way, because if I can recognize why, then I can repeat that over and over and over again
Right.
and maintain that. But if I ask the question, how do I feel, and I feel uneasy or anxious or sad or fearful,
Why?
the next question is why?
That's awesome.
Why?
And I want to identify why.
Yeah.
And if I can identify why, then I start to look for solutions, or more specifically, because this is really the key. What we have a tendency to do is to lie to ourselves. We will say shit to ourselves that absolutely isn't true, but we'll repeat it over and over again to the point that we believe it. Mm-hmm. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm the wrong color. I'm the wrong religion. I'm the wrong sexual orientation. I was born on the wrong side of the tracks, whatever it is. And we say these things over and over again. They become our excuses, and they're not real. They're not truth, but we believe they are, so therefore we act like they are, and therefore then they dictate our outcomes. Mm-hmm. So we have to consciously recognize the conversation we're having with ourselves. The single most important conversation that any of us will ever have is the conversation that we have with ourselves on a daily basis. And when you're aware of that conversation, you get to improve the quality of it.
Love
it's
it.
Really critical.
Wow.
Hey, John. So we're putting together this training webinar.
Yeah.
Will you be a guest speaker on our first one?
I would love to do it.
And I want this exact subject.
Let's do it.
To be what you talk about.
I love it. Yeah. And I talk about these things.
I'm getting chills because for the last, I don't know how long, we've been working on this. We talked to you about it yesterday in our coaching thing, but one of our major topics. So let me back up and let me tell you something that I realized through the coaching with you and George that really hit home with me. We have our VIP 50, and it's all based on your SOI, and we have our system down to where you basically are showing up for 50 people in your life, and you are turning them into a freaking army of super fans.
Yeah.
But what I was missing in our training and in our process of what we do, I was missing the training of this, of getting them, whoever it is that I'm teaching our system to, getting them in the right frame of mind and in the right position to accept what it is that I'm going to show them.
Yeah, that is critical.
Critical.
It's critical. When you say that, the word that comes to mind is authenticity.
Yes.
We have to be authentic, and the only way that we're truly authentic is to be willing to be vulnerable. And if we're not willing to be vulnerable, they're not willing to learn. I have a coaching client that I'm working with right now. We've been working together for the last year. She's a real estate agent. You know who she is. You both do. Mm-hmm. And over this last year, we've worked together. And the number one thing that I've worked on with her is this idea of being authentic and being vulnerable. She's the sort of person that when we would finish our coaching sessions, I always like to give my coaching clients a hug because I want to connect, because I know that being authentic and being vulnerable is critical to progress. And she was really resistant to it. And I kept working with her and breaking this down. And what I've watched is as she has opened up to me and become authentic, right, becoming vulnerable, that it permeated not only our coaching sessions, but then what she did in the business and how she connects with people, but also what happens in her personal life. And I've watched this complete transformation of this person that I really truly care about and love. And this last year, she had the best year that she's ever had in real estate because of that simple concept of being vulnerable and being authentic.
Love it.
And people don't look at that and say, oh, that makes sense. It's not even on the radar. They say, well, how can I be more successful in real estate? You know, what's that next best script, or what's that next best system, or that
That's how
widget
they
or
connect
gizmo?
with you, is your ability to be connectable.
Connect, because that's what this
Well, that's
is
a
about.
loaded question anyways. I mean, think about it.
It is.
It is, totally. I mean, it's such a vague, open, how do I become the greatest agent? I mean, it's just, there's no answer for that. There's no quick answer.
No, there is no quick answer. It starts ultimately with the individual. We have to
Yes.
work from the inside out. You're never going to be a better real estate agent. You're never going to be a better
Values.
mortgage. You have to start with who you are.
Yep.
You can't give to other people what you don't possess. If you want your clients to be confident, you need to be confident.
Yep.
If you want your clients to be honest and have integrity, then you have to have that, because we're energy. And if we are that, if we are those things that we're looking for, that's what we will attract to us.
Right. And I firmly believe that.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely true.
Like firmly
Yep.
believe that. You know, it's the karma, it's the what you put out in the universe you get back.
Law of attraction, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever it is, but I mean 100%.
Yeah.
I'm all in on that. 100%.
But it's not easy.
No, it's not.
And you both know that. It's not
no.
easy.
So John, are you open and looking for new clients?
Yes, absolutely. Always
Okay.
looking for new clients. But here's my standard. I remember years ago having this conversation.
Oh, Aaron, I don't know if we're going to fit into this. We might have came in through the back door, baby.
Well, it was kind of rocky in the beginning, to be honest. But no, my standard is this. If you're coachable, number one, and number two, you desire success. Most people will say they desire success, but when they get to the point where then, okay, I show them what they have to do,
fear shows up.
Oh,
right? Whatever it is, the ego, the fear, right?
Doing their part and doing what's
Yeah,
asked
they got to
of
do
them.
their part.
through the freaking burning desire to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, I mean, I will fire coaching clients because
Good.
they're wasting their time and mine, and they're wasting their good money.
I'll fire
if
real
they're
estate
not-
clients.
You should.
Yes.
Because you know the process. You know absolutely what they need to do to get what it is that they want.
Yep.
And so if they'll follow your lead, you'll get them exactly there where they need to be. So yes, always looking for coaching clients, but with those criteria.
Okay.
They've got to be willing to be coached, and they've got to be willing to want to get to the next level.
I'll tell you
So
what.
I've thrown up on the screen right now. This is Big Bad John. It's got his information at the bottom there to reach out to him. It's got his phone number. It's got his email.
Yeah, reach out.
Reach out.
Can I give a little plug? Actually,
Yeah, just keep talking. I'm
My
gonna leave it out
experience
there for
with
a minute.
if you're not ready for this kind of coaching, this brokerage's environment fosters this. There's a 7:30 meeting every morning. It's a mindset meeting. It gets your head right. You're here. You're basically clipped in, doing scripts, doing things that a fantastic lesson and message every single day.
Every day.
And but it's an environment that's fostered around this. I mean, it's wise because the two heads at the top are all about this. But
Well, we live it.
Yeah, you live it.
We are what we talk about. You have to.
and the
Yes, you
environment
are.
and the environment is that, and it supports that. And so I mean, if you're with the market the way it is and where we're going with some of the changes that are happening, I think it calls to a lot of people to be here and participate and actually come enjoy and have the leadership necessary to go through this market.
Look, you have two choices. Number one, you can wait for the market to change. And when is that going to happen? Right?
I've been waiting.
Hang on. Let me get my crystal ball out here.
Right. Or number two, you can say, you know what? I'm going to change because that's ultimately what's necessary. Because look, you can wait.
I don't mean
It's all good.
This is the one.
He wants to be walking out of here.
No. This is the one with the orange juice. So I want you to just experience the difference. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
That's all good.
I just took a sip and it's like perfect. And I don't want it to get any more diluted. Check that out.
Okay, so I would say that's my second favorite
I
taste. The middle one, the last one was the best
Before.
because it was, that one is smoother and there's more citrus in that, obviously.
absolutely.
So that helps, I think, mitigate that warm, that heat, and that kind of that bitterness that you get.
Yeah.
from it. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it really is good. I don't know if it's good enough to convince this Mormon Catholic to drink it consistently, but
Hey, my name's Jack and I'm a Jack Mormon. My mom's going to kick my ass, but other than that,
Yeah, well,
We
you
had
probably
we,
deserve it.
we had
I love my
our, we had
mom.
our moms on.
We
on
did.
one of
Did
these-
you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it
that's
was
cool.
Fun.
Yeah,
it was
my-
fun.
I call my mom me mutter.
We better.
Me
Me mutter.
That's cool. You have
And
a
I'm her
great-
favorite son by far. My mom has a lot of kids.
How old is your mom?
She is 80 or 81. I think she just turned
Good for you.
81.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're fortunate you still have your mom.
Oh, I know. Yep. I've lost stepdad, lost my dad, lost all my grandparents. So,
Moms
yeah.
are special.
Hold in there, Mom. We need you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all need moms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love it, man. I've really taken on this coaching thing. I actually really look forward to it every time we're coming in there. And you know me, I mean, I get pretty excited and I'm bouncing.
Oh, I love your energy.
I'm bouncing stuff off of you all the time and kind of, looking for a little guidance because, I mean, we're so focused on putting together this webinar seminar series with coaching following it up. So it's very interesting to me that just the whole process and how you get from that point A to that point B. But I will tell you this, that I really do appreciate the energy that you give us and the feedback.
It's a care and investment on their side. Like
Yeah, it is.
It really is an investment on their side, and I appreciate it.
I mean, I've told you guys without any qualms how, I'm dedicated to my team and I want to build my team. And I really do feel like what we're putting together is really going to give us a strong avenue.
Absolutely.
To build our team from outside of here at C21.
Absolutely.
And
No, you guys are on the right track. You're doing some great things.
yeah, it's fun.
This is fun as well.
Yeah.
It
This
really
is fun.
It is.
Once a
It's
week
very
we
cool.
get to come in and just have fun,
Right.
Yep.
Now you just need to add some cigars.
No.
We will.
Wait.
No, I won't do that. But it'd be kind of cool.
but no.
Listen,
You're gonna get complaints down the hall.
Well, we'll find a humidor. We'll get you into a place where you can do
here's
that.
the problem. Yeah, we'll do
We
that.
can do it
we'll
back
do
there.
that one
We can do
remote.
it back there.
That
There
will
you
be
go.
a remote one.
Yeah,
And hey, you know what?
Wait.
I mean,
We all heard it. The boss said yes.
cigars.
somewhere else.
Cigars I can handle, but I will tell you this, because
He's not getting me into cigars.
No, listen to
John,
this.
Have you
not-
ever had a cigar?
Yes, but he's not. I'm not.
Not gonna do
Here's
that.
the problem with cigars. When you wake up the next day after smoking a cigar, you're looking for the elephant that ran through the room and shit in your mouth. Because
Never
it's
heard that one
bad.
before, but that would be a reason number 62 not to smoke a cigar.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't inhale it into your chest.
I just like the
or into
smell
your
of it.
lungs.
I actually like the third. I do enjoy the sweet smell. Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
it does smell good.
And you know
Yeah.
what's really, really good is when you're smoking a cigar, you dip the tip in your bourbon.
I've watched that. Yeah.
It's so good.
You do?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Interesting.
Very cool.
So there it is. We're gonna have to do it.
Yep.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
All right, John, you got anything else, man? I'm so grateful that you came on our show today, and I think people can really see your authenticity and
yeah.
I hope so.
your energy is awesome.
Well, here's what I would say. We're all selling every single day.
You bet we are.
Whether we're selling our services or who we are as a human being to others, the number one human need is acceptance. We want to be validated, acknowledged, accepted. My goal is not to try to convince people of what I'm saying. My goal is to convince people that I believe what I am saying.
Love that.
And I can tell you that I do because I've learned it through my personal experiences. Anything that I share it because at any given time in my life, I was screwing up. I learned it because I didn't have it all figured out, and I still don't.
Right.
I learn every single day. In Western culture, we seem to think that success is I get to a certain destination and I got it all figured out. I am now successful. In Eastern
It
culture,
never
they
stops.
say you don't. Mastery is a process. You never get to the destination. You're constantly getting better if you consciously recognize that you can. If you don't, then you won't. And you watch a lot of people, and especially in real estate, they get to a point, they get a few transactions, and they say, okay, I got it all figured out. And then they stop showing up, they stop being coachable, and then you watch how their business implodes.
I mean, speaking from a
Right.
team point of view, and I'm sure you guys see this all the time, it's so true what you're talking about. we take these, especially if they're a new agent, bring them into our fold. We teach them all the different things, and then as soon as they have just a teeny tiny bit of success, it's like, oh, I don't need you.
Right. It's interesting. The one final thing that I would say is this. A lot of people are afraid of going through the coaching process because they don't want to be discovered who they are, and they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they're enough. Let me just say this.
They're scared to figure themselves out.
Well, they're afraid to figure themselves out, but they also feel like they're going to come up short.
Right.
And they don't want to.
They don't want to face the real face.
And they don't want to expose themselves to others. But here's what I would say to that. If a kid from Orangeville, Utah, who grew up in trailers, whose dad was an ex-con who spent 3 years in the Utah State Penitentiary, whose parents did not graduate from high school, never lived in a house. We always lived in trailers. In fact, the first one was a travel trailer. So if we wanted to go camping, we didn't even pack up. We just hooked the trailer to the truck and we'd go camping, which is true, right? If I could go through that, if I could fail out of law school, if I could lose everything that I had, become a multimillionaire and lose everything, and then build back and do it again, if I can figure that out, anybody can. And I mean that.
That's amazing.
Anybody can do it. And so all I know is this, that I believe in the potential of everybody. The key is that if they can believe in themselves, number one, or number two, allow others to believe in them, and then be willing to lean into that person, to the coach, and allow that coach to lead them through that process. But you have to be vulnerable and you have to be authentic. And that is difficult. But if you will, I promise you, we will deliver you to that place that you want to be, because I've done it over and over and over again for decades.
Yeah, so my very first session with John, I was like this little meek person, and I was like, John, don't hurt me.
That's bullshit. We know that. That is not true. That is not true.
I'll tell you what.
It was a different process with you.
It was way process.
Over the course of our history, there have been, I'm always leaning on you guys, always.
Yeah.
But there's been times where you guys literally held me together.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's because of love.
And yes, and I have full faith in who my leaders were. Full faith.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, and that means a lot.
Yep.
It does sincerely.
And some seriously scary, hard times. Like it was full lean on. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to associate with, from a business standpoint, but associate with people on a friend basis, because I consider us friends. Even if we weren't
100%.
Still friends. And that's really important, because at the end of the day, at the end of the week, end of the month, at the end of the year, end of the decade, the end of our lives, the only thing that we ultimately have is our experiences. That's it. And the stuff that we accumulated, we don't get to take with us.
Nope.
And what is really critical is the people that we associate with and the experiences that we have.
That's our gold.
It is our gold. And
that's our pay.
And I have to tell you, I'm having a blast.
Oh, man.
With you guys, so it's cool.
We have so many freaking cool people in our lives. We had our mixer last night, and at one point, I don't know if you saw this, Aaron, but at one point, every single seat in the house was full of a body.
They had a waitress walk out.
They did?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Really? I feel bad.
Yeah.
But there was
not that we were bad. I don't know why, but maybe she was just overwhelmed. I don't know.
Had so much going on.
We filled that place.
Good. That's great.
Like there were some other clients that weren't with us that walked in there, and I watched them. There was one table that was empty, but then they walked up to the table, and I don't know who came over and said something to them, and I was going to there was some other people that had the end of the table. And I was trying to get them to just go over there and hang out until something else came up, and I think they went next door. But anyways, it was really, really a great night. There was so many good people there. I had so many great conversations, and Larry Lee showed up, and I haven't seen that cat for 7 or 8 years, man. And that guy used to be a huge part of every week in my life, and he's just this bubbly, nice person that when you're around him, you feel good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So thank you all for supporting us and coming out to our mixers. We say it all the time. The mixers are about you having the opportunity to rub shoulders and have conversations with other people that are just as cool as you are. And that's what it's all about. Because we got some cool people in our life. So
cool people attract cool people.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So anyways, wow.
We
almost pushed an hour, dude.
We have a log with.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
We had you put it on Do Not Disturb, so your coaching client you missed.
Yeah, you're coaching. Hey, I didn't see him look at his watch not one time.
Not once. Well, I was having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Well,
thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah,
Coach,
thank
you
you,
bet.
buddy.
My pleasure.
Freaking love you, dude.
Yeah.
You as well,
Seriously.
both of you.
Absolutely.
Yep. You're top shelf as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, brother.
All right, people. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was a good one, fun one. Remember, you can see it on YouTube, Beards on the Street. I'm sure it loads up to our social media and yada 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 yada. So, love you guys.